Alright, so this is like, what, day 5 in creating a Gill Lapis 5-color control deck. A couple things I want to do. I cut a Laevateinn, um, put an Apollo. I think there are cases where being able to buy back Arthur Pendragon or like Lucifer is important. It's also good if we have a Gill Lapis that's trying to swing in for damage, to gain flying, I think is pretty important. This being said, I do want to cut down on number little dreads. I think I can go to 1. I want to cut down, and um, part of the reason why is because a lot of this deck does have utility, or we have a decent amount of like target attack, and we have stuff like Arthur. So the use for little dread is actually not as important, I'd say. Um, I think having a 1 of little dread gives the deck still a utility kind of toolbox kind of thing, but a lot of times the target for Little Dread is not going to be there. So unless they have like a Mephistopheles or like a Susanowo or I mean a Gwyber is pretty good, but I think we want to cut down number Little Dread. Um, I think still having Susanowo is good. I think the Lucifer probably feels the most awkward. Granted, it's one of the things we can activate with the Earth. Um, I want to put in at least 1 sign in the future. I want to put at least 2. I think against decks that say decks that like okay, I like this one better. Decks that don't run a bunch of like weenies that die to Flame King Shout, but are still trying to go wide. So maybe like a deck with like Elvish Priest and like Feet Sinks, maybe like 6 Sages or something. I feel like that deck is a lot harder to hit with Flame King Shout, and our deck isn't particularly fast. It's pretty fast, but it's not like so strong that we can't get through those, or that we can just blow through those. I think space time collapse. Actually, if we go down to 3 space time collapse, I think if we go 3 space time collapse and like 2 sign, we can diversify our threats a little bit better, or our ability to remove things. Space time collapse has honestly felt a little awkward to me because we're playing a red deck and we have a lot of burn already. We have stuff like Pricia to get rid of stuff, so I don't know how good the space-time collapse actually is. I haven't felt that it was great. Arthur Pendragon has been pretty mediocre for me as far as like him being in hand. It always seems like I'm playing against a green deck. Either I aggro them out and kill them, or I'm playing against like a green deck and then I can't resolve an Arthur anyway, because they always counter it. So it's a little hard to figure out how we really tune this deck up. I think 2 signs is good, and 3 space-time collapse is fine. I do want some sort of addition removal in here because we are dependent on the earth a little bit. So having a way to pop, uh, having a way to pop like Barrier of Shadows is probably important. I'm starting to think like what if we ran a speaker creation and then like our own Barrier of Shadows, because what that allows us to do is, well, it allows us to, getting a speaker of creation allows us to satisfy the ability to destroy an edition as well as play an edition. We could grab a Pitch Black Moon, although we would like never grab a Pitch Black Moon, but we could grab like a 1-of barrier in the deck. And I also feel like a lot of times the Guinevere is not so good. Um, if we're gonna cut down number of Little Dread, we can probably cut down number of Guinevere too, I think. Let's just cut all the Guineveres and let's just kind of see how we do with like a, if we ran a barrier, like a 1-of. Is there one that's okay? Say we run like a 1-of barrier, and then we run a speaker of creation. It's almost starting to feel like an Alice's World type deck, but the difference is that we're not trying to go big with Gwyver, we're trying to put on early pressure. We have like a speaker of creation and then like a barrier of shadows. Um, are we at 40 cards? Yeah, it looks like we were 40 cards with this. I just want to test it like this The deck is like kind of weird because it's got like tons of one-ofs. So maybe it's just like maybe it's not really streamlined its game plan. I might need to cut the Lucifer. I may end up doing that, although it because Lucifer honestly has been kind of awkward for me. But I think I don't think we have another like good out to beating an Alice. Um, oh, we could just target the Alice, I guess, with space time collapse, and that'd be pretty good. But we don't have a good out to an Arthur Pendragon, other than like Lucifer, and I think gaining life is also important. We can utilize our globes. That's the wrong one. We can utilize our globes to pay for Lucifer's ability to gain life. But I will say it's almost always been used for Gill Lapis himself as opposed to anything else. So maybe we're just constraining ourselves there. If if we have another thing that's begging to use or to be used by the Earth for an activate ability, maybe it's not quite what we want to do. If I get up, like, if I free up that slot, then I don't know, I can run something else. I'm not quite sure what to run yet, but we'll see. But in some ways, I feel like having one of is fine. Um, I mean, Lucifer is not terrible as a resonator. I mean, he's a 4 mana 9/9 that forces your opponent to banish. Granted, banish is not necessarily as good as destroy, and he's also not searchable. But I think having that out to like having that out can be important. The out to Arthur. We don't really have a good way to deal with Arthur. Trying to think. I almost like want to cut the Little Dreads entirely and play a different game because Little Dread is nice, but I feel like Little Dread is better in a deck that's playing Elvish Priest, like the Sylvia list uh, that I created. I think it's able to utilize Little Dread a little bit better. Whereas going wide with Little Dread in this deck is not as important. I think if we're gonna run stuff like Space Time Collapse, then maybe Little Dread's like not not a huge like bonus for us. We can get rid of like Gwybers anyway. Although the best way to get rid of Gwyber is clearly stealing and then like swinging and then sacking it to Laevateinn. But I feel like this deck is trying to do too many things, so we may just cut the Little Dreads and just kind of bring the count down a little bit more. I don't think I want to run 2 Arthurs, probably just run 1. Maybe go up to 2 Lucifer. That's an option. Okay, so it looks like we're on the play. This hand is decent. Actually, this hand's great, I would say. Because we can turn 1... Yeah, I think we can just turn 1, play the Rukh Egg, and then later on, or we can turn 1 Laevateinn and then Rukh Egg pass, and then we can kind of see what we want to get later on. So he's playing Kaguya 1.0. Okay. So I wonder if it's a build similar to mine. But either way, I have a lot of experience playing as Kaguya 1.0 and playing against it, so I'm not too worried here. He's probably gonna go like turn 1 Executioner. But the thing is, I can't just like completely play around Executioner because like eventually he either has like all Executioners in hand or like he only has one, in which case my second Lancelot might get through. So it just kind of depends. And if he sets something down, I can always bash Rukh. I can get like another Lancelot if needed anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. Play a Lancelot here. If he has a prison, then he could probably pop it on the Lancelot here. But yeah. Okay. I could banish in response. like my whole board, force him to sack his executioner, but I don't like that because I want to save the Rukh Egg. I want to save the Rukh Egg because I can bash it whenever I want to, right? And get something important, as opposed to bash the whole board and force him to bash executioner. Um, I think that's a little bit more important than forcing him to bash the execution or bashing everything, searching with Rukh Egg, and then forcing his executioner to kill itself. But I could be wrong. Maybe it is better to just like try to 1-for-1 him here. If he attacks with the executioner, I'm probably just gonna take it because I don't want to pitch the Rukh Egg for no reason. Okay, so he set two things. One could be a prison. One could be another executioner. Yeah, so he didn't attack with executioner. I definitely would have swung. I mean, I have a sack outlet on board, so there's kind of like no reason not to. I'm gonna play a Lancelot here. I'm gonna attack. If he has a prison, he can probably trigger it now. But okay. I don't want to play the other Rukh Egg because then it just opens me up to sign. And if these are just dead or something else, then I don't want to. I don't want to like banish my Lancelot to Lave. If he has a sign, I don't want to force banish like one of my Rukh Eggs in a Lancelot. I don't like that. This is bad stone-based design because what if you just call this turn one? Like, sure, you can still set something, but you can't flip the Executioner off of Moonlight. It literally says you need a Darkness Magic Stone. You can't flip. The only thing you can flip is Sign. You can't flip Prison because Prison says you need a Water Magic Stone, and this is not a Water Magic Stone. So, like, this is actually just not good stone-based design, in my opinion. Granted, I spent like 2 weeks building Seer the Blue Moon, so, like, I have a pretty good handle, I think, on how it's supposed to work. Go ahead and swing for 7. Yeah, he's got challenges. That's interesting. So he's playing the build without. I guess he's playing a build without Cheshire Cat or something. That could be the thing. I can't judgment yet. I can judgment now, but um, I'm gonna go ahead and banish the Rukh Egg here. And I'm banishing the Rukh Egg because we get a Pricia. I'm banishing the Rukh Egg because I don't want to open myself up to sign. So we'll go ahead and play the Pricia now, I think. Because if he didn't trigger these on the Lancelot, then I don't think he's going to trigger it here either. Yeah, Space-Time Anomaly is pretty good against Pricia. Did he draw? Yeah. So I probably should have played. Well, I don't think having a Perceval on board is necessarily better here than a Rukh Egg. Because the Perceval could miss. Granted, if I got a Globe, that'd be pretty good too. So we'll see. In worst case scenario, I can actually. Okay, so he's playing this like weird janky build with Artemis. This is probably a sign in the future that's never gonna trigger, so I'm not too worried about it. Bow is something he's gonna have to pay 1 for as long as I'm Gill Lapis. So if I decide to attack, then I need to attack before I Judgment. Well, that's probably not gonna happen unless I hit like a globe. Then I can't Judgment anyway. If I'm gonna play something and attack, because I had to call Stone, I don't have enough to Judgment and play something. It's a lot of set down, face down cards. So if he wants to bow, he needs to pay 1. Go ahead and banish that off. So I'm gonna have what, 5 mana? Yeah, the little dread hasn't really done anything for me here, so I can see myself cutting it because this deck has a lot of control anyway. I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call Stone. Attempt to play one of these. Is that an Executioner? Might be. Okay, so there's that. Um, what's the chances he has another Executioner? Not entirely sure. We are running a little bit out of gas, I guess. What if I just play like we've gone through 2 Precious. I don't think he has a way to gain life, so when I do Judgment Gill Lapis, I can probably get in a lot of damage. Um, I think that's the plan here. Probably to play a Lave. I don't think I actually need to play. Okay, I can play this. Because I can probably just kill him with Gill Lapis, so I could probably just play the Lave. Kind of see what we get. Looks like we missed on everything. That's kind of awkward. Go ahead and put that on bottom, followed by those in order. So if I Judgment, let's see, I have 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and then if I banish something, then if I banish something like the Perceval, then I would have lethal. Oh no, he has a space time anomaly in the grave. So having these, so that'd be 4 and then 8 plus 14 is still 22. It's still not enough. Unless there's a way to Judgment and call Stone at the same time. There's not, so like if I play Pricia, I can try to get in 5 damage. Well, I can probably swing with Perceval first. Get in some damage, and then well, if I swing with Perceval and get in the damage, then that should be enough. But we'll see. Depends on what he has in hand. I can also threaten to just God's Art next turn. But yeah, I think what I can do, well, what this deck's trying to do, I feel like, is aggro them out and then Judgment and Gill Lapis. So cards like Little Dread probably are a little too expensive for what this deck's trying to do. Stealing their best dude probably not as good in this particular deck because we just want to power out damage and then have a ridiculously strong J ruler followed by a God's Art to really seal up the board as they're whittled down on life. And this strategy, like for the most part, is good, except except against maybe the tree. I don't know. Like you can probably. We don't have a lot of ways to see their hand. So if the tree decides to just whisper from the abyss and trigger Alice really early, then I can see how that's a problem. Maybe I do want to go up in the number of Lucifers. I'm not sure. It's some the tree matchup something I'll probably have to think a little bit about. Space time. It makes me want to have like 4 space time collapse because that can hit Alice and the Regalia at the same time. He's gonna pay 4. He's gonna play Lucifer. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. I'm thinking here if I like Judgment, I have 2 stones left. I was just Flame King shouting at Pricia if I really wanted to. He can just Artemis, so let's just go ahead and pivot these 2. Let's go ahead and give these each 1, and then we'll probably play this. See if he's been sandbagging like a prison the whole time. So I'll put these all on bottom. We'll grab the Laevateinn. I guess this is a little awkward because it's gonna cost 3 to Judgment anyway, so like it's not like we can actually do much with that. Get the Pitch Black Moon here. So let us rebuy Precious, which is something this deck is pretty good with. So he could potentially swing for lethal if he doesn't really do anything about it. So we're gonna attack. This is 14 plus 4 would be 18. Well, he has to block here, otherwise he actually just dies. And I don't think we play the Lev here. I probably want to discard it for mana because if I'm gonna God's Art next turn, I'm not sure. This is kind of where I wished I had Apollo. But Apollo's better when you have like awakening costs. And there's not really awakening costs in red, unfortunately. I mean, I could run like Lilith, the demon, but she's not so good. Like if you're not doing anything with Gill Lapis, then you probably could just be playing a better control ruler. So I think this sort of style is the right way to go. So I think this is the right like sort of general strategy. It's just a matter of coming up with the right build and numbers. I think 3 Percival is still necessary because if we had gotten Herod, then we need a way to get another Regalia, otherwise we're just drawing dead. Um, I think his main concern is how he's gonna beat a Gill Lapis here. It's taking a lot of time to think about this. But yeah, he's under a lot of pressure here. Okay, so he's just gonna pass. Draw. Yeah, we can swing here and see what he does. He can probably just space-time anomaly. Yeah, it's not gonna be lethal since he has space-time anomaly, so it's probably best to just it's probably best to not attempt to like go all in on this. So Gill Lapis is at 14 plus 4 is 8. Could keep going with this though. So he's got minus 10 on here. If he does it one more time, I obviously have to banish. I'm gonna God's Art. These random like cards in here. His build is like really awkward. So he's gonna use like a Meph. What does he have besides? So he's got Meph. He's got a bow. So I can take Meph, bow, and a robe. Yeah. 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 So there's that. I could discard the other Lev for like minus 16 or something, but then I have to banish to Lancelot end of turn anyway. So I'm probably just looking at just attacking him. That seems to be like his win con in his build, so probably just bank on that, I think. Instead of because I probably want a judgment next turn again anyway, and then swing into him. So I don't think I think keeping the Lev in hand is a little bit better. We're gonna Judgment for 3, and then we can pitch the Lev to play Pricia if need be. Go ahead and play 2 on here. It's funny because, like, this can be used to destroy a card in chance standby. So I don't know why he runs bows. Because Kaguya 1.0 is not even, like, bad against aggro, so I don't know why you need bows. And then, like, me stealing a bow, I can blow up one of his chance standbys, so that's really nice. I don't know which one to target here, really. It's like, I don't know. He hasn't triggered either, so I think one's like a sign. I think the first one he set is a sign, so the second one he set is probably the one that's a little bit more relevant. That is a thing. Yeah. I wonder if... Well, if he sets something now, then I'm just gonna pop it, I think. Play a space-time collapse on me? Sure. So he doesn't want me to have swiftness. That's really good. Let's go ahead and hit the second one then, I guess. Go ahead and pop this one. So that was probably a useless card for him. He's gonna have to pay 1 to activate the bow. Wonder if I can pitch the Lancelot. So I'm thinking here I can pitch Lancelot, get a Pricia back, Flame King Shout the Pricia, but then she would die to the Artemis bow, which he can pay for. So it's probably not really worth. Go ahead and play one of these. Play one of these, and probably just Judgment again. Yeah, probably just Judgment again. Judgment again, and yeah, attack him, which probably is not lethal. It's definitely not lethal, but getting the attack just depends on whether he wants to take 14 or not. If he takes 14, he can attempt to gain life with Lucifer, but I can probably just... I can just counter the Lucifer activate ability with Gill Lapis, so... Okay. Yeah, so there's that. And do I just Lancelot here? I think I just Lancelot here for like 6. I wonder if he's running like Bow Demon Flame or something. It looks like it. Yeah. Which I'm okay with. I could have countered this right here, but I don't think it's necessary to counter that. Like if I counter the bow, I guess that's okay, but I can buy something back. So if I can get the counters off the bow, actually what I can do is I can buy back the like one of the Precious or something, and then swing in when he activates the bow, then I can just counter the bow's ability. It helps that I took Meph, which is like, I think his win con. Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to call more than 5 stones with this deck. Probably even like 4 stones sometimes. So I think I actually want to cut the Little Dredge completely. Still run a 1 of Susanowo because of stuff like Wyber. And then I don't know. I want to fit something else in. Maybe like another Lucifer. Second Lucifer would be nice, to be honest. It'd be funny if I drew like the Arthur Pendragon here, because I don't think if I was to just resolve the Arthur Pendragon, he would have to have like exactly Lucifer. Hardcast like an Arlethotep. So he had one hand anyway. That's interesting. We can draw. We can activate this once. Make him like a 16/16, I think. Meph, target attack. So here we can probably just Pricia him. Counter the Pricia activated ability, or counter the bow activated ability. And get in for some amount of damage. Yeah, I think that's a good play. Attack him. If he blocks with Meph, then we can get in for like a bunch of damage, so. Because I feel like he has to take this here. Because like if he doesn't, then I swing in and I probably just kill him. Okay, so he takes that. 16. I could banish it, bring it to him. Bring him to 11 if I really wanted to. I don't think like it's necessary to do that. I can probably just kill. Probably just kill the Mephistopheles if I swing. Yeah, I should be able to kill the Mephistopheles with this swing. Um, but that may not necessary. That may not be necessary. I have him under a lot of pressure here, so if I kill the Mephistopheles, I most certainly have to banish this for Imperishable later. Yeah, so I think I swing here because it gets the Mephistopheles off the field. They have another like space-time anomaly. So this is what, -5. You can probably do it again. So MF is what? 1313. This is a 1818 minus 5. So it wouldn't be enough. He could do it again to save his Mephistopheles. But I think at some point I just start buying back Precious. I think I just pass here. But yeah, at some point I just start buying back Precious. Granted, I can't do that with my current hands. Flame King Shout has been awful here. But if I draw any Resonator, I can pitch and then buy back a Pricia. And I've seen this is my third Pricia so far, so there should be one more left in the deck. But I can just keep buying back, to be honest. All three Laves are in the graveyard though, so. Yeah, so he's gonna take 5. Um, Probably have the Judgment anyway. He's got what, one space time anomaly in the grave, so he can. There's another one in hand, then might be able to kill Gill Lapis permanently, but I think I need a way to stop the Lucifer from gaining life. I think that's important. So I can buy it back with Pitch Black Moon here. Get back a Pricia. I can attempt to Flame King Shout and a Pricia. Does that kill him though? No, because if he has the space time anomaly in the graveyard anyway, then it doesn't kill him at all. I wasn't supposed to buy that back then. I think what I need to do is I need to just Judgment that turn. Because he can definitely. I don't know. I don't think I had to have Judgmented. Yeah, I don't buy it back. I just Judgment and then leave up a mana. Yeah, I just Judgment and leave up a mana to counter the gain 9 life kind of thing. It kind of makes me want to have another Arthur Pendragon though. In this sort of drawn out game, I think having 2 Arthur Pendragons would be pretty good. So he does run flames. Okay. Yes, I'm not able to stop him from getting life now. I just have to depend on buybacks. So he's playing a version. The flames are okay, I guess. Actually, flames are really good here. I don't like the death sentence from the queen though. That's kind of cute, but not really strong. The robes are okay though. I think this build is one I actually kind of like, but the problem is like I went blue black in mine, purely blue black, because I didn't want to die to split. Because I think if you die to split, then that's not very good. Like here, if I was to split him, if I wasn't like greedy on my mana base and was able to split him, then he would just be dead, I think. But yeah, no, I made a misplay there because I should have just done this. And then, well, granted, if he had double flames, I probably wasn't going to be able. He has priority in his turn, so I can't save Gill Lapis anyway. Him getting life is pretty good, though. That's for sure. So what are some weak areas of this deck? I think the Perceval is actually kind of weak here, but I feel like you have to have some number, maybe like 2, maybe not necessarily 3. But I feel like you need 3. Like if you ever lose out when you're Regalia, then it's just kind of bad for you. Um, this card's obviously dead. I don't think the barrier here was very good at all. So I think I probably want to cut the barrier. I don't think it actually helps very much. It was interesting to try out, but I don't think it was very good here. I think I don't know, the situation doesn't feel very good here, obviously, but still has the space-time anomaly in the grave. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix some things. Like, I'm not going to store that game because we didn't play a full match, but I'm just kind of testing the deck anyway. I don't think the barrier was actually very good. I think the signs are still fine. The Hector was actually kind of awkward here. Or at least it wasn't awkward, it's just Hector, in a long grinding game like that, maybe the one of Hector is not very good. So we can clean up some slots here. What if we went up to... What if we cut the Little Dread? Just say we're not getting to the Little Dread. And we can run just good stuff in all 5 colors, I guess. How many slots do we have? Like 3, 4 slots it looks like. The one of Death Scythe probably should just be another Apollo. I don't think the one of Death Scythe is that good here. It was great when it had like Guinevere's, but it's not good here. Interdimensional Vessel, Apollo. Pay for Awakening. I think I'd rather just have a globe here. If I go up in number of globes, I'd probably increase the Lucifer count. I don't think I want to run 4 Lucifer though, that seems a little heavy. So probably 2 Lucifer is fine. Probably 2 Lucifer and maybe like 1 Celestial Wing Seraph. That might be a little too cute though. Because it's pushing our curve really high and I don't like that. So we probably want to keep it low, or as low as possible. Could go up to 4th Space-Time Collapse. I feel like that would have been good that game. Speaker has no target. That's a little awkward. So if we're gonna run Speaker, and I think we have to run Speaker to deal with like an opposing barrier, then we need something for Speaker to search. And I don't know if Barrier of Shadows is that good of a card to be worth it. Barrier wasn't great that game. Neither was like the Flame King Shout. I'm trying to think of like what would be great here. What is a just a generic field edition that we could run? Robe is not a bad target, it's just not great. So I think it does have to be like one of barrier. We don't have like we don't have Alice's World to run, so I think we do have to run the one of barrier shadows. Even though it's not great, I think one of barrier shadows is probably what we have to deal with. One of barrier, Susanowo, Pitch Black Moon, Flame King Shouts, Lucifer's, Arthur Pendragon. We could probably run a one of. How many hits do we have with Perceval? We've got 8 Regalia. So assuming we play Perceval, that's 8 hits plus 2 Percies remaining in the deck. So that's 10. Plus 4 Lancelots is 14. Plus 1 Arthur is 15. And I think that's enough. 15 hits. We may want 16 hits, but I think we can get by with 15. Second Arthur would be interesting. Arthur's actually like backbreaking for most decks, so I think we could go up on Arthur, or we could not jack up our curve so high. Because I think Lucifer is a little bit better. Lucifer's better against like Tree and stuff, so I think we may want to increase our Lucifer count. I'm not fully sure right now, but I think we can go like 4 space-time collapse. Maybe 4 space-time collapse? I don't know. I don't think space-time collapse would have been that great that game. I needed to see 1. I think that was the problem, just not seeing 1, but uh, Rukh Egg, one Susanowo. I don't think we really go heavy on Lucifers here. The curve is decent, I guess, because of the one-ofs and whatnot. We could still run a one of Hector. That wouldn't be the worst. I just don't think it's very good. Um, I mean, it's okay. It's good if we have Lancelot. It's not so good if we don't have Lancelot, or in that situation where we're playing against like hard control. Do I want to run Thunders? I figure Thunder may not be too bad. Let's see. Actually, between Globe and Laevateinn, I think Laevateinn's better. So I think I want to run 4 Laevateinn, 3 Globe, and then 1 Apollo. Flying's pretty good. Run a Speaker, Singleton Barrier. Do we just go up on Lucifers then? That's 39. If we ran forward, we go to 40. Okay, so I don't think we can go up to that many Lucifers. I don't think we want to see that many Lucifers. We have 2 open slots. And we could run an Athena. Athena's a decent mana sink. Puts on a lot of pressure. What else? It may need to be Athena. What if we just ran 2 Athenas? I don't know. Something that's like decent later on. I mean, it's probably worth trying Athena, Titan of Revenge. Just try like 2 of them or something. We're probably not going past like 4 or 5 stones, so Athena feels awkward, but Athena can inspire a lot of control, and I think part of it is we want to build up the number of threats we have. So I think if I can run one more match, not one more match, even just one more game, because I'm just trying to get a feel for how certain cards in the deck kind of are. Athena doesn't trigger like Athena triggers Executioner, but so would have so does Little Dread, so it's not really like a good comparison there. We'll just see. We'll just wait until someone joins the game and see. Um, but I think it's not bad because whereas like Pricia does die to bow and stuff, Athena doesn't. So having a threat that can like get through bow is pretty good. We don't have a good way to pump Pricia and get her past bow, so I think that was the problem there. Whereas Athena is like if you leave her on the board, we just want to be threat heavy. I think is the main thing. Um, yeah, I'd say that's the main thing. We just want to be threat heavy, but I also want to. I wanted to stick with red, even though like enemy robes are really good against us. I may go up to like a um second speaker or something. I may try to fit a second speaker. If I also need to test the aggro matchup and see if we need to run robes. So that's like a flex slot there, or that's an argument for like opening up slots. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the Arthur's not needed in the deck. Like we could run a one of Arthur. I mean, going down to 14 hits in the deck's probably not like the wisest thing, but it's possible that the Arthur's just not that good. Unless we actually get to resolve it. I may need to like actually go up to I don't know 2 Arthur. I hate going up on like 5 drops though. It just doesn't feel good. So feels wrong. We have the mulligan for Gilly. I don't want to see this. I think the Lancelot we can keep. But, like everything else. Yeah, I think everything else. Yeah. It's another Primo deck, so it looks like we're not going to be activating Regalia anytime soon. We're just going to be using it to make sure our Rulers and Morias don't come in and play tapped. He's playing Laevateinn. Just going to drop both. I don't know about dropping both early on. It just kind of signifies, unless you're actually going to use it this early, it doesn't really do anything except signify information. It's going to like Cathug me. Yeah, he's going to Cathug me. Okay, so he's playing like a more aggro-ish version. I may put Cathugs in this deck because we have more ways to sack off Rukh Egg as opposed to just Laevateinn. So I may put like 3 Cathug or something, but we'll see. Yeah, so there's that. And I really don't see myself doing Judgment soon, so I don't think I'm gonna give him more information on like the regalia in my hand. I don't know if he wins this race though. He does have a Pricia next turn, so that's probably pretty good. So what we can do here is we can like play one of these things and then see what we hit. Basically, it's gonna be a Lave. It's gonna be Laevateinn, and then we're gonna swing at this. Bash that off. Like, we're just basically winning on board here. You know, he could Judgment this turn and then attack, but I don't think he's going to do that. He's probably going to play Pricia. We can't activate either of these, but I think that's okay. Yeah. Killed off the Lancelot. It's kind of interesting, like the way this is all working out. I play Pricia too, so. I don't know if he has anything that actually gets past the Lucifer. Like, I feel like I'm winning this race because I played for the board. See, I like a Thunder. Actually wondering because I can win the race. You know what he's trying to do here. Sure. You can kill the Lancelot if you want. Did I just win? So what, 22? Because this thing has flying. There's a lot of damage I can get in. Yeah, because Gill Lapis is gonna have flying too, so it's like, yeah, yeah. And then what we'll do here is, and so I won that one partly because I was on the play and also because I played more for the board, whereas he was just kind of going for the face a little bit more. I don't like keeping this many Percevals in opening hand. I actually want more gas than Percevals, I think, so I'm just gonna get rid of all three. My build's a little like, when people build builds, I feel like they just build like just generic aggro builds instead of taking the more like more approach. I don't know, like I'm playing a good stuff kind of build, so the approach I'm playing, he's gonna be less prepared for. I could have raced him with Lucifer's life gain, if I really wanted to. I mean, there's a lot of ways I could have taken that. So when I play Arthur Pendragon on him this game, assuming he gets through, I think he's gonna be very surprised. Okay, looks like I will be taking 5. So yeah, Lancelot then. I think I'm okay with that. Like, play this. Probably just take the 5 from his Rukh Egg. Take the 5 from his Cathug and then block the Lancelot. And then get my own Lancelot, I think. Might be the best way to approach this. Pitch Black Moon is awkward though, but I feel like it's necessary. Having my own Cathug to hit his Cathug would have been nice. Yeah. I guess that's a little awkward that I'm going to be taking some more damage here. We're going to go ahead and swing. We'll go ahead and swing this at the Lancelot because if he has a Pricia in hand, then I take even more damage. Main thing is I need to resolve this Arthur Pendragon, so I needed to live to get to 5 mana. Okay. He doesn't have a way to sack that off. It doesn't look like he has a Pricia either, so... I actually wonder if I just play the Pricia here. I definitely don't swing with the Pricia. I think a defensive Pricia is fine. I think it's better to have a defensive Pricia. I just need to live to turn 5 and then resolve an Arthur Pendragon. Yeah, so he knows. Something costs 4. Okay. That's kind of interesting. So he plays Meph, so I need to see a Lucifer next turn. That can be kind of difficult. So I'm not going to be able to see the Lucifer, which kind of sucks. Do I just play this and pass? I feel like I do. Just play one of these and then like chump the Lucifer, I guess. Or not chump the Lucifer, chump the Meph. No, I won't be able to chump the Meph. You can Pricia and then attack into it. So I got a 9. Meph is interesting. I don't like Meph as much as Lucifer though. This makes me want to have a Robo-Fire at just for like on the draw. I don't think I keep any of these. This hand's awful if I grab like if I just call like a stone and don't do anything with it. This hand's not very good. So this deck definitely needs work. I will concede that. Um, Cthugs might be good. Probably some number of Cthug. I think instead of barrier, I probably want robe because I can care less about the barrier here, and I care more about not dying to aggro on the draw. So some number of robes would be nice. So we'll just go ahead and call stone here. Hope we don't hit a ruler's Memoria. Which sucks because I hit all, or I called all 5. Or I mulled all 5 for it, so. If he does open Rukh Egg Thug, it'd be really brutal for us. I think that is one thing, like, even though I'm running a lot of Laevateinn, but I think, like, I'm running 4, but I think what I need is, um, yeah, what I need is definitely more ways to sack off a Rukh Egg, I think. The Cthulhu version might be better. Isn't he just dead then? Guess his deck is just being awful to him. Did he mull all 5? He did mull all 5, so. I still like the Arthur Pendragon. I need more ways to like live to that point. It's the main problem. So I think like Arthur Pendragon backed by a Gill Lapis, being able to counter Refrain's bounce is very, very strong. I'm not gonna play any silent future here, so I think I'm just gonna swing and get in damage. Go and swing here. So he's at 8. I mean, I don't have a way to sack off the Pricia, and if I did, it'd be like just over. Just playing. Why would you play Necromancy if you don't have a good way to trigger Lancelot? You need like Reflect +2. I don't understand these decks. Well, let's see if he has a sign the future, I guess. think that's very relevant here. I think what is more relevant, I think stoning is a little bit better than the space-time collapse, but I see Adam Brawley. Adam Brawley doesn't have swiftness though, so unless you can run Pumpkin Witch. I don't think you run 12, because then you're just gonna get hands where you're just like nothing but like Regalia. If you're playing against another Primo, you can't just drop a bunch of Artemis bows and be like, yeah, these can defend me, because you're gonna have to pay 1 for every one of those. So, I don't think you can do that. This has convinced me that I'm just gonna leave. This has convinced me of a couple things. One is the Barrier Shadow is not so good because you already have a Primo. I think a Robe with Fire Rat is a lot better. Like, even if it's just one robe, I think that's a little bit better. Granted, Robe's not as good against stuff like Alice's World, but I don't think Alice's World's, you're not, I think the strategy you're taking against Alice's World is a little bit different. The other thing is, I do like Speaker Creation. I think that's good. I don't think the Athena did much. I don't want to run the Athenas. I want more ways to like, do I run Thugs? Because then what you can do, well, you can't run Thugs, right? Because if you think about it, your Mulligan constraint is a Regalia, and if you have to mull for a Regalia and the Rukh Egg and Cthulhu, that's too many cards to mulligan for. So I think you run Rukh Egg as Rukh Eggs, even though they're awkward. So there's the robes, there's signs, 2 Lucifers. Lucifer is actually pretty good that game 1. The deck still is kind of clunky. Like, it's playing multiple game plans, whereas aggro, like if you're playing just a generic red deck, then the plan is more straightforward. It's linear. Like, I'm gonna get in as much damage as I can. I'm gonna try to kill them. But since we're not playing just a generic aggro type list, we're playing aggro backed by Gill Lapis. So we want to kind of go big in the mid game. Like, it's almost like we're running red just to put on pressure. Well, I mean, that's exactly why we're running red. So we have a strong early game. We're playing the most efficient cards in the early game, and then we want to back it up by cards that are a little bit better in the mid game, and can also possibly win against an enemy aggro deck because we have stuff like Lucifer with life gain. So I'm thinking here we can still run 1 Athena. We can just run 3 robes, but I think that's a little loose. I'm not sure. Robe backed by sign is pretty strong. We don't have a way to filter robes out, so that's kind of the problem. So in like the aggro mirror, we just have to win, like, we just have to win on the ground. I don't know how we do that though, just like with stuff. Yeah, just stuff on the draw. I don't know how we do that. It's possible that game 2 I should have searched for another Rukh Egg. Actually, I'm like positive I should have searched for another Rukh Egg. Um, Actually, this math may not be wrong per se. Okay, if you do not mull, he's probably okay. Here's what he's thinking. I think this is correct. If you do not mull and you run 12, you have an 85% chance in your opening hand. But why would you not consider mulligan? Because if you're gonna say your mulligan constraint is regalia, and you have no regalia in hand, you pitch that whole hand. That's what you do as a good player. So what you do is you do the math for the top 10 cards, or do the math as if you're looking for 10 cards, not 5, because that's what you're going to be doing in a real game anyway, or that's what you should do as a good player. You can also run 9 if you really want to go up to 95%. You can run 9, but you have to worry about card efficiency as well. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I did this math a long time ago, back when Rulers of Moria first came out, and I know the numbers pretty well. You have to mulligan properly, and that's how you do the math for them. Um, I would not run 12. That's way too high. Um, I never see the space-time collapses. That's really weird how I'm not seeing them. Susanowo feels awkward, but I think I keep it. Because a lot of good Alice in the World players, or a lot of good Turbo Gwyver players, are just, they're not going to judge me, or they're not going to play Gwyver so they judge me anyways, the space-time collapses. Um, I'm not going to argue with him. Uh, I would agree that Bo's a lot of utility with Pricia. Problem is, all the decks I've built Pricia, or I've built with Pricia, like Sylvia, have like 4 rapid growth. So if you try to bow the Pricia, they just rapid growth her. So you need 2 bows, like specifically 2 bows. Um, Same thing with this deck. Unless I have Gill Lapis, you're gonna have to pay 1 to activate your bow anyway. So it's like it's a bit difficult. We have what, 2 slots? I don't think I go to 4 Lucifer. That seems a little loose. I don't think I run 2. I could run Thunders. I could run 2 Thunder. And that would hit the Cathug. That would kill Pricia. Maybe I do want to run Thunder, because if you think about it, this is good against like turn 1 Priest. You can, or well, it can kill turn 1 Priest. Thunder can also kill the Cathug, which is really the problem in the aggro mirror. I think. Because if you trade Lancelots and then they Pricia you, you play your Pricia and then you kill their Pricia without losing yours because of first strike. Okay, I think this is where we want to be. I think what we want. I think I like the Thunders because I would have been able to hit the Cathar and kill a Priscia. I can't hit a Lancelot, but I think the 3-drop of choice is not like Snow White. It's Priscia, and for good reason. I wouldn't play Snow White over Priscia. Even though I like Snow White as a card, I think she's a very fun card, whereas Priscia is like one of the most unfun cards ever. Like, look how many things Priscia has. Like, 3 keywords, possibility of getting flying, and dealing 500, that's a lot. But I think this is the right direction because on the draw against red. Well, by this argument, do we even want the robe then? The robe. Okay, barrier has been awful. Do I just want 3 thunders? Do I run speaker with no target? This all seems like awful because I want a way to pop an addition because if an enemy plays barrier on me, that hurts because our regalia suddenly become awkward. Like Earth becomes awkward, and to an extent, Laevateinn becomes awkward. Because Earth is using so much of like Gill Lapis's abilities to pay for them. So I think we need a speaker, but we need an addition to go with it, and it may actually be barrier. Like I played against red, so robe would have been better, but I think actually what I wanted is a thunder, not specifically robe. What I should have done is if I had thunders, if I had blocked with Rukh Egg, grabbed another Rukh Egg, I'd play the Rukh Egg and then thunder the Cathug, and that would have been great. That would have been better in robe. So I think we want to go back to the initial logic of running a 1-up barrier, because I think what Gill Lapis provides on the front side is very strong, but then once you judgment, all the regalia become free and open. So having a barrier to follow up, like if you can speaker creation and a barrier to put that pressure back on, I think that's very good. I may cut the Arthur. I may cut the Arthur here. It reduces our Percival hits down from 15 to 14. I mean, if you resolve an Arthur, it's very hard to lose. Unfortunately, I don't know. I'll explore this later, because right now the deck is in its clunky stages. So if you're watching this, please don't be like the one guy who like unsubscribed because he was like, "Oh, I took your working in progress deck to locals and got destroyed." No, I I don't have a lot of time to test. I usually spend like 1 to 2 hours a day, and that's the video I'm recording every day. The 1 to 2 hours I spend testing. I try to like think about it really hard and explain my thought process. This way, my testing is more efficient than most people who aren't thinking as much or may not have as much experience with the game. But this is my current. This is what I'm gonna leave this video with. I think I want some more thunders in here, maybe 3 thunder. But the deck is still a work in progress. I still need to streamline the game plan a bit. Arthur feels awkward in the game plan because if you're trying to like put on early pressure and then judgment to Gill Lapis, I feel like Lucifer is good for winning races, and it's also an out to like an enemy Arthur Pendragon, so you probably need it. But our own Arthur Pendragon is kind of awkward. Um, like sure, if you drop it on 5 mana, Arthur can just take over the game. But they might actually have enough damage to just kill Arthur, as awkward it is, because we only have 3 Perceval. So the Arthur may not be like, since we don't have that many ways to protect Arthur Pendragon. Like if they actually do 2,000 damage to him, they probably just kill him, and that's not outside the realm of possibility, I should say. So I mean, we don't really have that combo of like Percival and then protect Arthur Pendragon. In a way, we do, but like in most cases, Percival's dead because we're just under so much pressure and we're dropping the Arthur because we want to. But in a lot of cases, I feel like Arthur wouldn't have been better than a Lucifer because we never made it to 5 mana in a lot of matchups. But that just could be because we didn't have Thunder. So I think I'll just leave it with this. We'll test some more tomorrow. I think the stone base feels solid. But I'll test some more tomorrow, uh, and then record the video with changes then. But it's gonna be a long process before we actually come up with a list. I feel pretty good about like. There's a point whenever you're testing and you're just like, yeah, this is feeling pretty good. Like for the most part, it feels solid. Once you get to that point, then you're like, yeah, I think I'm almost there. But this is not quite to that point yet, so we'll see. It'll take some time.